looks like I have a little mushroom hat. Well, hello friends, welcome to or welcome back to the Eerie Fairy Tales. My name is Letty and today I have an extra fun video planned. I have a tag video. Yes, that's right, my very first tag video. Yay! Thank you so much, Michaela, for tagging me. I will link her channel down below. Her channel is at Michaela Reads, and I'll be tagging some people as well at the end. So stick around for that. Let's see, is my tea ready for the creamer yet? Does anybody else like creamer in their tea? I do. I kind of tend to lose my voice when I'm speaking a lot, so I gotta keep a beverage on hand. So with this tag, of course, there are 26 questions, you know, A to Z, that whole thing. Also, don't look at my nails, they're trash. How rude. Okay, so I have a couple stacks of books next to me, so let's get started. Number 1, the author that you have read the most from. There's been a few actually. I would say Leigh Bardugo, Grady Hendrix, Riley Sager, Suzanne Collins, and Andrew Van Wey. The best sequel. Now, I haven't read that many series, so I will just say one of the recent ones that I finished, and that is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, and that is the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. And then currently reading, I'm reading a few different books. My main one is Floating Staircase by Ronald Malfi. It's a horror novel. Also reading At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's a horror novella. And then I'm also reading Mary Oliver's Devotions, and this is nature poetry. Now, my drink of choice while reading is usually water. I have this water bottle here where the stickers are almost all coming off, which sucks because they're really cute, but I was kind of a dum-dum and I put stickers on here that I probably shouldn't have, even though I hand wash it. It's okay, it's fine. If I don't drink water, I do like to drink coffee. And my favorite coffee is the Dunkin' French Vanilla with the Dunkin' creamer. And with tea, I like Earl Grey or black tea with creamer, decaf, hibiscus, or Earl Grey. This is what I'm drinking right now, decaf Earl Grey in this cute little mug. This mug I got at TJ Maxx for like $5. These little spiders back here, my kitty Penny always tries to get them. So heads up, if you get this mug and you have a cat, they might mess with the mug. So, e-reader or physical? 100% physical. I never read on a screen. I don't read on Kindle. I never will. I have certain reasons for that, but it's always going to be physical. I also rarely listen to audiobooks. Mostly physical. Fictional character you would have dated in high school? No. Glad you gave this book a chance, and that would be Tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I was hesitant because it's more a literary fiction about friendship and video games, but it was actually a lot of fun, and I learned some new words. That was actually a critique that a lot of people had, was that it had a lot of big words. Now, I like that kind of thing. I like learning new words. It was one of the things that I tabbed here. Usually what I do is I will look up the word and either write it in the margin in the book, or I have like a sticky note or something and I put it in the book. And a hidden gem. This one rarely anybody knows about. I just happened to stumble upon this on Instagram because one of the channels I follow posted a photo. I think it was Bookubus, I want to say. And I was really intrigued by the photo. I checked it out and I'm so glad that I got it. It's an indie author and they're called, actually, it's like a series, and it's called Midnight Companion. It's this cute little like 80s style mass market kind of style. They have 2 issues out right now. I ordered the second one. It's on its way, I believe. These are like little horror novels. You open it up. Actually, I guess it would be a novella because it's so short. You have the little like the composition notebook. And what's really cool is that it has a bunch of illustrations. Almost every like spread has illustrations on it, some artwork. Look how cool that is. Oh, it is so good and creepy. If you like how gross Grady Hendrix is, read this. I'll link his Instagram and his website. An important moment in your reading life. I would say that would have to be discovering BookTube. Now, I've been an avid lifelong reader, yet somehow I didn't know about BookTube until about a year or a year and a half ago, and I'm so glad I found it. I would say another part of that would be starting my own BookTube channel. just want to do it for fun because I like talking about books, and I don't really know anybody in my real life that reads as much as I do. I just wanted to have this creative outlet to do that. And just finished. That book would be How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. And wow. I will have my full review in my September wrap up, but I did really enjoy this. This was good. I just have a lot to say, so you'll have to wait for my wrap up. I did post a little bit on my Instagram, which I always have link in my description. But I will just say for now that I neither want nor need help from either of these two main characters. Thank you. Okay, so the kinds of books you won't or don't read. And I will say right now, because it can always change, although for the most part, these are going to be books that I'm most likely not going to read or I try to stay away from. So that would be extreme horror, splatterpunk, stuff like that. I accidentally did read one earlier this year for a book club, but I normally wouldn't do that. Also, in general, I don't like stuff with torture or kid stuff or SA or animal cruelty. I do have some books that have had that in there, although I feel I just glance over it. Usually that's if I don't know ahead of time, but if I know ahead of time, I'm most likely going to skip it. Also, I do not like romance. I don't read romance. I don't want any spice or smut. No, thank you. The longest book I've read, and that was World Without End by Ken Follett, and it's 1,026 pages. Oh no, it's 1,025 pages. Although I would not really recommend this one. It's not the strongest one. I would read the first one. That's actually one of my favorite books. That one is called Pillars of the Earth. I have my notes right here, so that's why I'm looking down a little bit. It says, the next question, major book hangover from fill in the blank. Well, I don't usually get book hangovers like that. There's always another book that I really want to read. I never am like, oh wow, that book was so good. There's no other books that will live up to that. I just can't read another book right now. Sometimes maybe I want to like percolate, sit with it a little bit, but nothing really gives me that hangover feeling, like a hesitant feeling. If anything, I may get on like a little kick where I read a bunch of ocean horror or I read a bunch of carnival stories or something like that, where it's like a common trope or setting or theme or something like that, but not really any kind of book hangover, fortunately. Number of bookcases or bookshelves, and that would be just the two. Let's see if you can look over there and see it. There we go. My phone screen is really cracked, and so it does that kind of like disco ball thing. So, a couple shelves over there. I do need to get another one though. One book that I've read multiple times is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Berendt. I think that's how you say it. I should have looked up how you say that, but I think it's John Berendt. Anyway, this has also been turned into a movie. I think I've seen the movie a few times as well. I've read this several times over several years, and what's kind of fun is that I kind of forget each time what happened, so it's almost like reading it for the first time each time. It's great. Preferred place to read, that would be my bedroom, curled up with my kitty cats. A quote that inspires you. So in general, I would say The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by B.E. Schwab. Just in general, it's probably one of my more tabbed books. Definitely, but I'll just share the one with you, and I love it because it's a bookish kind of quote. And this is what she's settled on. She can go without food, she will not wither. She can go without heat, the cold will not kill her. But a life without art, without wonder, without beautiful things, she would go mad. She has gone mad. What she needs are stories. Stories are a way to preserve oneself, to be remembered, and to forget. Stories come in so many forms, in charcoal and in song, in paintings, poems, films, and books. Books, she has found, are a way to live 1,000 lives, or to find strength in a very long one. Beautiful. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Reading regret. I would say that would be Books that I either added to my TBR or I ended up getting really early on into my booktube discovery days. It kind of took me a little bit to figure out what people were really saying in their reviews and why so many people would like certain books. For example, a perfect example of this would be Verity. I didn't understand really what that book was, and then I read it, and no, 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 no. Series that I need to finish, and this is a series where all the books are already out, and that would be actually the prequel to the Hunger Games series, and that's The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Three of my all-time favorite books. Now, seriously, how could you say just three all-time favorite books? That's like straight up blasphemy right there. Like, how dare you? How dare you limit it to only three? Okay, but you know what I'll do just to make it a little easier on myself is I'll pick three of my favorite that I've read over the last 2 years. So my three favorites that I've read since discovering BookTube. There we go. So the first two you would have seen in some recent wrap-ups. And the first one is Head Like a Hole by Andrew Van Wey. And this is a horror novel. Absolutely awesome. Written just for me, I swear. Highly recommend it. Second one is From Below by Darcy Coates. I love ocean horror, claustrophobic, anxiety inducing. Sometimes it felt like I was in the dark water myself. I read it so fast, and then I found as I was getting to the end, I was getting mad because it was almost over. I was like, why can't I just stay in the water a little longer? Can we get a continuation of this, maybe? Darcy? My third favorite that I've read over the last couple of years is Middle Game by Shannon McGuire. And this also has a sequel called Seasonal Fears, which I have, and I would like to read that hopefully this year, maybe in the fall sometime. If you don't really like time stuff, like time jumping kind of stuff, then you would probably want to stay away from this, but I found it really fun and surprisingly easy to follow. I'm an unapologetic fangirl for ocean horror, as previously mentioned, creepy carnivals, and labyrinths or mazes. Also bonus for any kind of portal fantasy. And I am very excited for this new upcoming release. And if I can figure it out, and it also works, I'll pop it up here. Hello? Hello? There we go. It's a miracle. And that is Somewhere in the Deep by Tanvi Burwa. She is the one who wrote Monsters Born and Made. And that is what I read in July, and that was really good too. That will be in my July wrap-up. Back to the anticipated release, Somewhere in the Deep, that comes out January of this next year. And I will link her Instagram down below. In her bio, she has a link tree. And you can go onto her Goodreads, or the book on Goodreads, and you can enter a contest to win a free copy. And you can also sign up to get an ARC of the book as well if you want to. Now, my worst bookish habit, I would say that would be hauling and then unhauling, like shortly after. Fortunately, I don't do that too much, but it does happen. More so with like books from the thrift store or the library bookstores, because those are maybe only 50 cents, $1 or $2, and I don't usually have a whole lot of time to sit there and look through everything. So I just grab it, and sometimes I get some gems, and sometimes I just unhaul it. Okay, next one is X Marks the Spot. So go over to the top left of my bookshelf and then count to the 27th book. All right, so you're gonna come along with me here. I'm gonna have to turn it around, so hopefully I can show you, okay? Okay, so normally there would be a book here. That's where Adiluru is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is instructional, so I'm not counting it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And that is The Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. That's actually one of my favorite childhood books. latest book purchase was Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. I cannot wait to read this. I'm going to be reading it in October. Actually, I'm going to be reading it with a bunch of other people. Jan Agaton is going to be reading it for her Full Moon Book Club, and I'll link her channel down below, so if you want to join us. And a ZZZ Snatcher, or Sleep Snatcher, basically. So a book that kept me up too late. Now, books don't really do that because I just pass out, even though I don't want to. But I will say there's been a couple books where I just couldn't wait to read them. I just wanted to sit down and read it right when I got home. I didn't want to do anything else but read these books. And I'm going to say 2 books because it's the same author. And the author is Goldie Moldaveski. And the first book that I read by her was The Mary Shelley Club. And I read that in August. So that will be in my upcoming August wrap-up. So I don't want to say too much about it, but Frankenstein inspired, I'm sure you can tell, but this is really good. I loved it. The other one I read in September is Lord of the Fly Fest, and this is like her own take on Lord of the Flies, and it is hilarious. I will just say that. I'll go ahead and have my full review in my upcoming September wrap-up, but I do have a brief review on my Instagram. And I actually have an idea for a series where I'm going to be doing like pairings of classics and retellings. I've had this idea for a while. So I have 3 pairings that I've read already, and then I have 3 more that I have like already and I can read, and then I have a list of maybe 6 or 7 more pairings. So and if I do like 1 video a month, you know, I'll have like a year's worth. And then I already have another idea for what I would do after that. But I'm really excited, looking forward to that. Fritz, don't move the lighting. Anyway, you distracted me. Fritz, you want to say hi? Little Fritz is my travieso. Oh, that's my little Fritzy. That's my little Fritzy. No, this is not Penny. I know they look similar, but they're not the same cat. Penny, you want to come here? Come here. I'll show you. Now this is Penny. You see that difference? I mean, it's very obvious. Okay, Penny. Okay, here we go. You did your part. You can go by the window now. I'm going to be tagging... Penny, don't move the table. Oh my god. No, don't do that. But anyway, I'm going to be tagging a bunch of people. No pressure on if you can do it or not, or when you do it, if you do it. But if you do, please tag me so I can watch it and comment, because you know I love to comment. If I'm subbed to you, then I'm probably going to see it anyway, but just to make sure, you know, tag me so I can watch it for sure. I thought these questions were really fun and I'd like to see other people answer them. Oh yeah, and then if somebody else tagged you already for something like that, you know, like if you're doing it already because somebody else, the cats are going crazy. No! Fritz! Stop it! Basta. Is this what it's like having children? Now, if I don't tag you, but you want to do this video, consider this your tag, and then please tag me as well so I can watch and comment. Oh, and as I mentioned earlier, I am going to link my Instagram. Well, I always have it in my description so you can keep up with the books I'm reading more in real time. I'm also going to be participating in a couple readathons in October. There's Halloweekend, which is like long weekends, Thursday through Sunday. That's hosted by Books with Lexi. And then Michaela, who tagged me, Michaela Reads, she's going to be hosting a readathon with Maddie Moon's Library. And that's the end of October. I think it's the 23rd through the 29th. I'm not 100% sure. I had it written down somewhere else, sorry. But I think that's it. But I'll link that video. She has an announcement video, so I'll just link that. Oh yeah, then I could also link the announcement video for Lexi's as well. So I'll link those down there with their channel so you can participate. I just love readathons because they're so motivating and it's so fun. So the people I'm tagging, and again, if you're not on this list and you want to do it, consider this a tag, please do it and tag me and let me know so I can watch it. So I am going to tag a bunch of people, just throwing it out there. I'm going to tag Ingrid Reads a Lot, Brooklyn's Library, Hannah's Fiction Library, As Told by Maddie, Happy Haunts Library, Crits Can Read, Books with Tofocado, Bibbidi Bobbidi Books, Ellen Onata, Marion Meets World, Book Nerd 87, Poser Books, Victoria Sampley, Read Chelsea Read, and In Sophie's Books. So that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me a little bit today. I know our time is valuable, so I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate all the likes and comments. Happy reading. Till next time.